This is a message for some of you who have been losing sight of the faith you once had in what you've been doing, what you felt like your purpose was at one point, what you felt. Hi lovely, my name is Lauren, this is Scorpionic Readings, and today we are looking at your message from God that you need to hear. So let's take a look at the cards we have pre-shuffled out. Your first card here is Chaos. You've got Third Eye Chakra. Message of guidance is growth with seek out a mentor or guide. Take baby steps as you grow and be willing to learn from others. Okay, we have here growth. Interesting. Double message here. That is not a coincidence. Enterprise, exaltation, as well as devotion. Okay. Your message is, there's something, when I was going to do this message, these cards came out of this deck: Harmony, Domination, and Choice. And it gave me guidance for where I think this reading was going to go. Like, this is a message for some of you who have been losing sight of the faith you once had in what you've been doing, what you felt like your purpose was at one point, what you felt like your strength was, or where your excitement lay before. You felt like that was going away, losing power, losing importance in your life, like it was kind of becoming less of a factor in your consideration of actions you take daily. And there is a call for some of you to return to the faith you once had, because there's a reason that the seed was planted in the first place. There's something that is meant to grow from this. With devotion, you are meant to be exalted into your highest potential within this. Growth is showing up twice. Practical advice, just getting that out of the way, mentioning and doubling down on the fact that it says, for some of you, it can be great advice to be seeking out a mentor or a guide. And a lot of you, for that may very well be a message of turning toward your spirituality, turning toward outside guidance once again, listening to yourself, but seeking out and observing guidance from outside sources here with the third eye chakra. It's a combination that you will be using here to continue working and being devoted toward this enterprise. You have struggled with your faith in this, with your excitement to keep going, because it has been an issue to feel like it's been an issue for you to understand that perhaps what is required from you to achieve this is aspects of domination, aspects of chaos, things that are challenging, things that can get a little bit ugly that you don't necessarily want to deal with, like things you want to sweep under the rug. You've had to come to terms with the fact that your spirituality tells you this is meant for you. Your spirituality tells you that you are meant to grow into this, but you've had to come to terms with what reality has called from you, or your perception of what reality calls for you to achieve is that it requires force and hard work and desperation almost. So you would like to find a way to be forceful, to be assertive, to tackle this, to dominate while maintaining harmony with your initial intentions, with the spiritual understanding behind this, with the eye on growth that you would like this to be something that is harmonious, natural, flows naturally, and is received naturally as well, but you struggle to understand how you can make that happen in a world where it seems like reality calls for domination and brute force and dominating the field, dominating the competition. Like, these kinds of things are what you have struggled with. You want to have a gentle touch, you want to be empathetic, you want your work to be fulfilling and nurturing and gentle and on a calm level. You want it to be received that way, but you don't know how to stay mild, stay calm, stay gentle, and be seen and grow and rise to the top. You don't necessarily want your goal to be rising to the top, but you understand that what is needed to be seen and heard is to reach some level of growth and rising up to a place where you are seen better and you are heard easily. People are able to tune in effortlessly. When your work is received, people tune in effortlessly once they are in it. What you want is a way to reach the people who need to hear what you have to say, or see what you create, or experience your energy and your generosity, your gifts, your wisdoms, your skills and talents. It's a choice. It's a choice of how can you balance these things. And so overall, there is a message here of keeping your faith in the devotion you once had to reaching a place where you feel uplifted in this space. You don't feel tied down. You don't feel in the midst of chaos. You don't feel like you are having to push through chaos, push through struggle and things being disorderly or things being crammed in the space, overly abundant, or rather oversaturated with similar works surrounding you. Yes. So I'm going to go ahead and get some tarot out because I think those are the messages I'm receiving so far, and I want to get into some tarot to clarify what else you should know from this message. What does God want you to know about this faith that you have, and how you can continue doing that in an authentic way? The Star card with the Emperor. It's really like faith and strategy. Your inner guidance, wisdom, put up against reality calling for the 3D reality, calling for strategy, calling for force, calling for being assertive and mindful of the tools you can use that will drive you out of chaos into a higher position. And how can you do that while maintaining the overall harmony of what this is meant to do? How can you maintain, rather, the integrity is a good word as well to describe how you feel about how you're going to make this work. How are you going to make this work with being pure in your intentions, but using your resources around you, knowing that there is a call to assert yourself in some way. And how can we do both of these things? We need clarity and guidance. Please, God, for the collective who were drawn to this message today for a reason, please give us the guidance needed to continue faith and to be successful. Maintaining the integrity, not losing sight of the original vision is a big thing here too as well. I'm going to take all of these. Let's take a look. King of Pentacles. This is going to be the final row of tarot here, and then we have one final guidance card to get you this message. We have here the Five of Wands, the competition aspect, the fighting and pushing toward the top of the world. Okay, this is your guidance here. We have the Hierophant, studying, calling on your spirituality, calling on the resources you have to continue growing into that. Seven of Wands, as well as the High Priestess. Okay. In order to have this successful outcome here with the King of Pentacles, there is not a situation here where you can simply ignore some of the strategy, some of the technique, some of, again, what reality calls from you to make this happen. Ground in reality to make this happen. We have the Hierophant, we have the High Priestess as well, who bring the aspects of your inner wisdom, the Star card as well, that spiritual support coming in, and the gifts that you have that do set you apart from the others, that do allow you to be received in a way that is nurturing to the world, to anyone who really experiences your energy when you are tapped in to your inner wisdom, to your empathy toward others as well. We have here aspects of some struggle with maybe more of some desperation kind of showing up and being represented here by the Five of Wands, as opposed to, this feels more like standing your ground. This feels more like claiming your space. I think there is, you are going to be turning around your perception of what this experience has felt like and done to you. Where you have been frustrated and angry with a lack of progress, or with what seemed like you went so far, you grew so much, only to feel like you were never meant to be doing this in the first place. Your message is to keep the faith in that, regardless of how things may have turned into more of a struggle rather than a powerful and a profound experience for you to be going through, a fulfilling experience for you to be going through. There was a point where that turned a corner and you felt like, this is no longer fun, this is no longer for me, this is tiring. I think there is a second leg of the journey here. I really do. I think there's a pit stop, but there is a full cycle being mentioned. And there is aspects you have learned very on when your focus may have been, I don't want to say your focus wasn't pure, but it may have been more easily influenced. You may have been more distracted by the chaos of how, again, oversaturated your surroundings were, your lack of being heard, and you may have done a few things that you could acknowledge yourself that strayed a bit from your pure intentions, actions you could have taken, or a mindset that you, a thought you had that then you felt comfortable with that. It was a comfortable space for you to arrive to a thought where you could decide that you could determine, not discern, but you determined, rather, you chose to cling on to this nagging feeling of a dead end you were approaching. And I said determined instead of discerned because I think that your sight was a little bit cloudy when this happened. And I don't think that this is anything other than what it was meant to be, that this happening was anything outside of your predetermined plan and path ahead. But we recognize as we go forward into the second leg that discernment tells you to keep going. Discernment tells you to take pause if you have not already been. If you are currently in pause, take as much more time as you need, because this cycle is meant to be completed. There is healing that is meant to be done, I believe, at a few spots within the cycle. We see almost like the bandages is kind of what I'm seeing, like knots where there's healing that has been done within a broken, perhaps, chain. So, you discern now that growth is still your intention. Growth is still meant for you. Seeking a mentor, seeking a guide, again, can be very practical advice for you, but I do think that this is past energy perhaps would have told you to seek advice, seek a mentor here on earth, grounded on earth. If you are working toward a project, find someone who has experience in it and get their foresight, get their help. Perhaps that is what the earlier leg and portion of your journey called you toward, and that felt like a struggle. That felt like, it felt comforting to know that this was something you could do, to try, to continue trying to improve. Your intention was always pure in regards to the fact that you wanted to keep trying. You desired continued effort, exhausting options, exhausting resources. And as we move to a point where you may have broken from the frustrations of this past leg of the journey, I don't even think you broke. Like, you just decided or determined that there is something else to do, or there is a pause that is needed. And it was tricky to discern if you're feeling your nagging feeling of needing to stop, needing to pause, was a call to completely change your path, to pivot direction, or to take a step back so you could see with greater perspective what has happened in the past and how that can help you discern how to move forward. I said something earlier about, like, you felt like all of a sudden you arrived to a point where you questioned why would I go through this if not meant to bring me more? Like, you felt dissatisfied with what it brought you in this time that you decided to take a step back. You still felt dissatisfied. It did not feel like this cycle completed for you. Yes, you felt like you could look back and say, well, I learned that, I got this experience, I practiced that, I can pat myself on the back for these things, but it is so much more than that, and I think you have known that. You have received messages confirming that for you, and I think you know here with the Hierophant and the High Priestess that there is indeed more for you here. Claim your stake once again. Claim your spot. The domination at this point involves you claiming your stake with pure intention, with clear intention as well, before you embark on, before you take any steps forward. Slow down and become clear on your intention with every step along the way. That is your guidance. That is how you continue. That is how you mesh harmony with domination. You remain true to your purest intention that is led by spirit. And you dominate by staying true to that intention, by claiming that for yourself and for this thing that you are doing with your life at this time. That is how you dominate. You stay true and you stay faithful and you release expectation of the physical, material, grounded reality aspects that could come into play, that could grow from this, that could benefit you in the future if they were to grow. You separate yourself from those aspects and you claim the greatest aspect of this journey, which is the fact that you were led by Spirit on this path, and that when you were led by Spirit, you are protected, you are safe, you are guided, and you are doing none other than what you intend to do in agreement with Spirit, in harmony with Spirit. That is what you were meant to do. I think that's the messages. I think that came across for you. Again, growth is not a coincidence coming up twice here out of 2 different decks. You are not done yet with this. You were meant to continue growing. You've done so much. Like this, I just got a bit of chills because I really feel like you have grown so much below the surface or behind the scenes that you don't even realize how close you could be to fully sprouting. You have really claimed roots and claimed your stakes here, and with removal of expectation of material, physical growth in the reality, you will find that could happen for you spontaneously, abundantly, overnight. Though it's not the driving force behind your actions. There's so much waiting for you with the High Priestess. You are discovering so much about yourself. You've been doing a lot of work with yourself too. Return to Spirit, return to your communication in whatever means that you find yourself doing that. If it means grounding in meditation, clearing your head through a walk, like things like that. Just return to Spirit as much as you can. Return to intentionality. Listen to yourself, listen to your body, and see what feelings pulse through you. What gives you that good feeling, that you feel inspired, that you do feel like you are surrounded by some presence of Spirit. Okay, I'm going to take a look. This is your final guidance card from the Spirit Animal Oracle deck. Let's see. Owl Spirit, with you, see clearly now. I just love this message. Third eye chakra, we said there was some issues and you were in chaos, you were under a lot of pressure, and that pressure is being uplifted for you. Spirit is with you. I hope you feel that. Tap into that feeling, tap into that knowing, communicate with yourself and with Spirit most importantly. You see clearly now. You did no harm by taking a step back to gain that perspective. Again, take the time you need to become clear on intention. That is your biggest guidance. Your intention is pure, and you move forward gracefully when that is the case. Your domination comes from intentionality and claiming the pureness of it, claiming your relationship to Spirit, claiming your potential and your purpose of working through Spirit, working with Spirit, and spreading this to benefit others as well. That is your message. I hope that this resonated for you. If you needed to hear this, please leave me a comment. I want to know how you received this message. How did you experience it? How do you apply it to your situation? I want to know how you're feeling and talk to you in the comment section, so don't be afraid to do that. Even if you just say hi, I would love to say hi back or just like your message, acknowledge your presence. Anything is really special to me to know that you have received this guidance from Spirit. If you feel like it, please leave a like, as well as follow my channel here, subscribe, so that you don't miss any future messages that may be meant for you to receive, just like this one. So with all of that said, I wish you a beautiful day and a beautiful journey ahead. You are led by Spirit and you are on the right path. So until next time.